Meanwhile, the European Union Commission chief has presented a plan to mobilise 800 billion euros for European defence. Let's hear what Ursula von der Leyen had to say.
Europe is ready to assume its responsibilities. Rearm Europe could mobilise close to 800 billion euros of defence expenditures for a safe and resilient Europe. We will, of course, continue working closely with our partners in NATO. This is a moment for Europe, and we are ready to step up.
Ursula von der Leyen there. Well, earlier I spoke to our correspondent Dave Keating in Brussels, and he explained exactly what the move means.
This plan is called Rearm Europe, and it has 5 actions. The first would be this long talked about suspension of EU deficit rules that would allow national governments to invest in defense in a way that would ordinarily exceed those rules and spark an excessive deficit procedure. The proposal now is to drop that if the spending is for defense. Ursula von der Leyen said just now that that alone would mobilize 650 billion euros if each EU member states increased its defense spending by 1.5% over the next 4 years. Then the second action is spending together joint procurement to buy military equipment to lower the cost and enable countries to spend more strategically in a more coordinated way. Third is using the EU budget, specifically through cohesion funds. So those are funds normally meant to bring poorer EU areas up to the standards of richer EU areas. That money could instead be spent on defense. And then the fourth and fifth actions have to do with mobilizing private financing, first through the European Savings and Investment Union, and secondly through the European Investment Bank. There are problems with both of that they've encountered because in the European Investment Bank's charter, it specifically says they can't invest in military equipment, so they have to find some way to change that. Now, I should say all of this is long-term changes, and so actually what the Kremlin just said there in the statement isn't quite accurate. Certainly, I think this announcement has been triggered by that announcement overnight. This was a kind of last-minute thing. You could tell from the urgency with which von der Leyen was speaking. However, the short-term measure, which was supposed to be adopted at Thursday's Emergency European Council here in Brussels, which is an immediate 20 billion euros over to Ukraine, has been vetoed by Viktor Orban. It's been removed from the Council conclusions. So all of this, while certainly would be welcome to those who have been calling for more European defense spending, more European sovereignty, it's all long-term. The short-term measure is, as of now, we're hearing off the table.